Hello，Hello，Test Test，可以吗？应该可以吧？可以吧？可以吧？那 slide 我就看不到啊。
town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Dr. Yu Chan LOR. I'm a doctor, a family medicine doctor at McKay Hospital. And welcome. Okay, so this is actually round 3 of the weight loss challenge, right? Yeah? Okay, round 2 was exercise. Okay, so this time what we're doing is we're gonna talk about how to lose weight, okay, through diet, through weight control, exercise, etc. Okay, so I just want to remind everyone, okay, including the people who are watching online, is that you have to remember to do an on-site registration with the QR code. Okay, has everybody done that? Yeah, okay. So why is this important is that there will be a draw at the end of this presentation and you will win, well, one person will win a voucher for a buffet for 2 people, okay? So it's very important that you have the on-site QR registration. Okay. All right. Okay, so wait a second. So wait a second. We'll have our slide back on soon. So this is a PowerPoint presentation, and if there's time, we'll have a Q&A afterwards, okay? All right. So in the past, on television or just walking on the street, most people will see kids that look very slim, right? Okay. But now what do we see? We probably see kids that are a little bit more overweight or a little bit more chubby. Okay, so we can probably see them eating McDonald's, fast food, or drinking soda or watching TV while they're eating and drinking. Okay, so before, families probably looked like this. Everybody's very slim, everybody's very slender. And then now what do we see? We see kind of like this, okay? So the parents are bigger, and so are their children. Okay, so this is a trend that is happening all over the world. Okay, so it's not only in the US, it's in Asia, it's in Europe, everywhere. Okay, so if you take a look from 1970 to 2020, you can see the trend is going upwards. Okay, before maybe 30%, 40% of the people are overweight. Now in the US, there is actually more than 70%. So just walking on the street, you'll see most people are overweight, okay? There's actually not that many people who are normal weight again. So what about in Taiwan? Is anybody curious about the overweight population? What percentage do you think is overweight in Taiwan? What do you see outside on the street? 20%? 30? Does anybody want to raise their hand? 40? 10%, okay. So let's take a look. Is it 10%? Okay, so it's not just 10%. It's actually closer to 30 to 50%. Okay, so take a look next time you're walking on the street. And this is also by age group as well. Okay, you see that maybe in the 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, the blue line is males, the pink line is females. So for males, it's about 40% to 50%. Okay, so 1 out of 2 people, 2 males are overweight in Taiwan. Females are a little bit better, maybe 30%. So 1 out of 3 females are overweight. Okay, so is anybody curious about where are these overweight and obese people? Because somebody said 10%, right? So maybe Hsinchu is more healthier than other places in Taiwan because I don't see a lot of obese people walking on the street. Okay, so that is true as well. You can see the red one is a population of 43 or more percent that is overweight. Okay, so mostly they are concentrated in the east, Hualien, or in the south. Okay, so Hsinchu is actually doing quite good. It's still in the green area. So there's actually not as many people who are overweight. Okay, have we wondered about the Philippines? About back home? What do you think? Does anybody want to take a guess? 90%. Wow, that's a high number. That's a very high number. What? What's another number? 60 or above? Okay, let's look. This is according to the WHO. They say obesity is 3 out of 10. Okay, so about 30%. But we have to know this is talking about obesity. Okay, so it's not including the people who are overweight. Okay, so obesity means it's even more severe. Okay, so who are these people that are obese? They're usually living in urban communities. Okay, they're usually in affluent households. Okay, and they're also living in these areas, NCR, CAR, okay, those areas. Okay, so how can I tell if I'm overweight or obese? Remember how we were saying that the Philippine data was obese people, not overweight? How do I tell? How do I distinguish? Does anybody know? You know how you do the health exam every year? Right? We do a health exam every year, right? Have you noticed that there's always something that says BMI? Okay, does anybody know what BMI is? Anybody? So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Okay, so, yeah, okay. So you can actually use this to tell if you're overweight or obese, okay? So I'm going to explain it to you later, but every time you do your health exam, take a look and see if your BMI is in red. If it's in black, you're safe. If it's in red, that means you are overweight or obese. Okay, what's another thing that we see on our health exam? Waist circumference, right? We also see that as well. Okay. So the BMI is actually very easy. It's just like a formula. It's just a calculation. Okay? So what does it use? It uses your body weight and your body height to calculate the BMI. So anybody can do that. If you have a calculator on your cell phone, you can just calculate it yourself. So let's say this man who is 170 centimeters, who is 78 kilograms. Okay. So what we do is we put height in meters, so 1.7 times 1.7, and then we have the 78 kilograms divided by that number. So his BMI is 27. Okay. So what does that mean? So now I have a number, right? I have my answer. My BMI is 27. But does that mean I'm overweight or obese? Okay. So now you look at the normal range. Okay. What is the normal range? In Taiwan, the normal range is 18.5 to 23.9. Okay. So actually, you only have to remember 2 numbers. The first number is 24. The second number is 27. That's all you have to remember. Why are these numbers important? Because 24 means you're overweight. 27 means you're obese. Okay, so our example for that man, his BMI was 27, right? Yeah, okay, so that means he's obese. Okay, but is every country in the world the same normal range of BMI? Okay, the answer is no. Okay, so in the Philippines, they have another normal range. Okay, so if you're looking at the Filipino normal range, it is 25 and 30. Okay, so that man with the BMI that is 27 is actually overweight in the Philippines, not obese. Okay, so different countries, different ranges. So what if I don't have a calculator? I don't want to calculate. I'm too lazy. I don't want to calculate it. Well, you can look at this chart, okay? So let's take me, for example. I'm 158 centimeters, okay? So my body weight should be 46 to 59.8. Okay, so I cannot be lower than 46, and I cannot be bigger than 59. Okay, so everybody can just take a look at this chart, find your body height, and then you will know if you're overweight or obese. Okay, but is the BMI always accurate? Can we always use the BMI to calculate to see if somebody's overweight or obese? Well, not necessarily. You know why? Because sometimes people have a lot of muscle. Okay, so muscle mass is heavier than fat. So even though Thor is a BMI of 26, this Wolf of Wall Street actor also have a BMI of 26, but they are not equal, right? Okay, so what can I use instead of body mass index? If for somebody who's very muscular, what can I use? I can use the waist circumference. Okay, so the waist circumference is another thing that will always appear in your health exam over and over and over again. Okay, so a reminder is that males are, if you are over 90 centimeters, female, if you are over 80 centimeters, then that means you must lose some weight, okay? Because you have too much weight around your stomach. Okay, so, I mean, maybe I don't have anything to measure my waist. What can I do? Okay, so everybody probably knows what size jeans you wear, right? Does everybody know? I'm sure most people know what size jeans you wear, right? Like I wear like a 29 or a 30, etc., right? So you just have to look at what size jeans you wear to know if your waist circumference is too high or not. Okay, so it's very easy to tell. Okay, so now what? Now that I have established that I'm overweight and obese, what can I do to lose weight? All right, so how did I become like this? How did I become overweight or obese? Well, it's very simple, right? We don't have to hunt for our food anymore, right? We don't have to, farm or do a lot of labor work. We're usually sitting at a desk, doing the computer or operating the machines, things like that, right? So basically, you are what you eat. The more you eat, the less you move, the bigger the chance that you are overweight or obese. Okay, so has anybody seen this picture before? The pyramid of food, right? Okay, so this is just like something that tells you what you need to eat more of and what you need to eat less of. Okay, so this is from the Filipino Health Department. So Taiwan actually has something that's also very similar. It is also the pyramid as well. Okay, but now it has been changed. The pyramid no longer exists. It is now a fan. Okay. Now, why did they change from here to here? Okay, let's look at the changes, okay? So the changes are, they want you to eat less carbohydrates. So before, carbohydrates was the main part of this pyramid. Now they say, don't eat too much carbohydrates. Don't eat too much bread. Don't eat too much rice. Another thing that they have changed as well is that they want you to eat more lean meats, tofu as well, protein, eggs, things like that. And they want you to eat a little bit of dairy, okay, but low fat, so not full fat milk. We have to drink skim milk or low fat milk. And a little bit of cashews, nuts, almonds, things like that. Now, the last change that they did, this is also very important as well. Instead of telling you to drink water, tea, soup, juice, you can pick any one of these. They've now converted to only drink water. Okay, so they're trying to limit you on your sugary diet, okay, things that are contributing to overweight and obese. Okay, so this is just a bigger picture of the fan diet. Okay, so the key points, I'm sure most people know, okay? Don't drink a lot of sugary drinks. Drink as much water as you can, okay? It's very important that you don't skip meals, okay? And also try not to eat too late. So if you're going to bed at 11 o'clock, but you're still eating by 9 o'clock, then this is also a trend that will cause you to gain a lot of weight. Okay, and don't overeat as well. Okay, and then low-fat foods, try not to eat any fried foods. Okay, so I've heard people say, well, what if I want to count my calories? Have you guys heard of counting calories for losing weight? No? Nobody has heard of this? Okay. This is also something that a lot of people do to lose weight. They count calories. If this food has a lot of calories, I won't eat it. If this food has a little, I'll eat it. Okay. But how do you count calories? Okay, so let's take a look. So this is depending on your age and what kind of job you do. Okay, if your job is more sedentary, like most people here, we're probably sitting down or standing more than we're moving a lot, right? Okay, take a look at your age range. For example, if you are 26 to 40 years old, you are a female that's a sedentary job, your calorie intake is 1,800. Okay, but 1,800 is only if you are wanting not to lose weight and not to gain weight, okay? So keep in mind, if I want to lose weight, I have to eat less than 1,800. I can't eat 1,800. If I eat 1,800, my weight will stay the same, right? So it doesn't work. So I need to lose at least, cut down 500 to 1,000 calories a day, okay? So what does that mean? If I need 1,800 calories to keep my weight at the same place, I can only eat 800 calories. 800 calories a day, all right? To 1,300. So it's actually very, very simple to calculate calories. Just take a look of all the things that you're eating and see the label. Does everybody know there's a nutritional label, right? On everything that you buy, there's always a nutrition label. But there's also some things that you have to keep in mind when you look at these labels. First of all, it's not telling you the whole package of calories. So for example, this is a can of soda that's 355 cc. Right now, it says the calories is only 42 calories. But is that right? No, it's not correct. Do you know why? Because it is 42 calories per 100 cc. So if you finish that soda, you would have already consumed 150 calories, right? Okay, so it's very important to read the label correctly. Okay, so everything has a label. I mean, this lunchbox has 654 calories. Okay, and then this bag of chips, it's also quite hard to see, but it says that it is 2.4 servings. They only give you the calories for one serving. Okay, so it's very important that you calculate it correctly. Okay, so let's take a look. Do you know how many calories is in a 便当? Okay, a 便当 is something we eat every day, right, on a regular basis. Okay, if you take a look, you'll be quite surprised that there's lots of calories in there. Look how many calories are in a fried chicken leg 便当. That's 900 calories right there. Okay, so do you remember, if I want to lose weight, I can only eat about 1,000 calories per day. So one 便当 is equal to almost 1 day of calories for me. Okay, if I eat anything more than that, I'm not going to lose weight. I actually might even gain weight. Okay, so what if I like to eat fast food? It's the same thing as well. It's a chicken burger meal might be 700 calories. A fried chicken meal might be close to 1,000 calories. And what if I like to drink a lot of sugary drinks? Okay? You know, you're working very hard every day. You know, at lunchtime, you just want something sweet, right? Like a sweet milk bubble tea, right? So what is that? What is that like? It's 370 calories, so that's a lot as well. Okay. So now that we talked about calories, some people might think, oh, what if I want to exercise? I'm going to exercise to lose weight. Okay, I don't need to cut back on my diet. I want to just exercise. Okay, but we have to know, is exercise a good way to lose weight? It's actually very, very hard to use exercise to lose weight. Do you know why? Because I have to walk 1 hour or I have to run 30 minutes just to get rid of the coffee that I had for lunch. So it's actually quite hard to use exercise to lose weight. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do any exercise. You should still do exercise. I mean, you should try to walk as much as you can, take the stairs, don't take the elevator, park as far as you can, okay? Do housework, things like that. But then some people might ask, okay, well, I've done my exercise, I've done my diet control. What other options do I have? Okay, so there are other options that you can think about. You can think about medication, okay? There's actually oral pills. There's actually another thing that is injections to lose weight. And these are all FDA approved, so they're very safe. Or you can think about maybe Chinese medicine, maybe acupuncture. Okay, that's another way that you can try to lose weight. Or, you know, at the very end, you know, if you're just too obese, it's just too hard for you to lose weight. So another thing you can think about is weight loss surgery. Okay, so that's my last slide. And I just want to let everybody know that if you are having a hard time losing weight, don't give up, okay? There are options that we have that you can use, okay? So if you want to go to the weight loss clinic, you can also visit me at the hospital, Mackay Hospital. These are my clinic times. Or if you have any problems with your health, it doesn't have to be about weight loss. It could be about your health, or maybe even you know, something wrong with your health exam that the nurse has told you you must follow up on. Okay, so you can also find me there as well. All right. So the last little story I want to tell you about is that. So the last thing that I wanted to tell you about is that for here, there's a little story. It's called Fit to Fat to Fit. This is a true story. This is an American weight trainer, a personal trainer, who decided to purposely gain weight for a half a year, okay, and then lose it within half a year. Okay, so it's very impressive that he was able to do that. He was able to be fit to fat to fit. Okay, so don't give up. There are ways to succeed. All right? All right, so that's the end of my conclusion. So I just wanted to remind you guys that after the second presentation, we will have another presentation for the online workers. There is the draw, okay? So make sure that you've entered the registration with the QR code, so you will be entered in the draw. So after the presentations are finished, we will pick out one name and you will get vouchers, okay, for the restaurant. Now, I know probably a lot of you are going back to work, so don't worry. The name that we draw, we will talk to the coordinator, and the coordinator will contact you if you are the winner. Okay. All right. So does anybody have any questions? Maybe we could have a question, or let me see the time. Yep, there's a little bit of time. Or anybody have any questions about their health exams, anything like that? Anybody? Does anybody have a story to share about weight loss? No? Well, I see that everybody is actually quite thin and quite fit, so maybe not a lot of people need to lose a lot of weight. Okay. So, but I mean, if you have the health exam, health report from last year or the previous year, go back to it and see, okay? Maybe your BMI is in red, but you don't know, okay? I have also had patients whose BMI is normal, but their waist is in red. Okay, I've had that as well. So their BMI is not in red, it's in black print, but the waist circumference is actually too high. So what that means is that all the fat is concentrated in your abdominal area. Okay, so some people are quite thin, but there's a lot of fat here. Okay, so I have also encountered that as well. So just take a look at your health exam, see if there's anything red in there. Okay, so as you know, if you are overweight or obese, it's also very easy to have other red things on your health exam. Okay, for example, glucose. Okay, we see that glucose level. Okay, so if the glucose level is red, it could mean that you are at risk of diabetes. Okay, or if you know the cholesterol, the total cholesterol or the triglyceride is red, that is also a sign that you probably need to do more exercise or you need to do some diet control. Okay, so maybe you're not overweight, but you still have these things that are red. That also means you have to change your diet or change some way of your living and exercise. All right. Okay. So if nobody wants to ask here, we can also have a little Q&A privately as well. So you can just come up to me if you don't want people to hear your questions. You can also come up to me privately to ask some questions. Okay, well, thank you for your attention.
Dig it?
in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, won't you let the light shine through? In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 for you.
everybody. My name is Dr. Yu Chan LOR. I'm a family medicine doctor at Shinzu Makai Hospital. I've been invited. I've been invited here today to talk about weight loss. Okay, so I've heard that this is the third portion of the weight loss challenge. Okay, so the second portion was exercise, and this portion is all about how to keep fit, change your diet, and lose weight. Okay. So for those of you who are listening online, I just want to remind you that if you haven't already, please do the QR code to do the on-site registration. That is very important because at the end of this presentation, we will have a draw, okay? A draw to pick out a winner for 2 vouchers to a restaurant, a buffet restaurant. So make sure you enter your name, otherwise you won't have the chance to win this 2 vouchers to the restaurant. Okay, so let's begin and just follow along. All right, so in the past, what we've seen on the street or on television is you see kids that are actually very slim, very fit, okay? But right now, what do we see? Okay, now we see kids that are a little bit more bigger, a little bit more chubbier, fatter, who are eating McDonald's, who are drinking a lot of soda, watching TV. But what about adults? Adults is the same thing. Usually in the past, we see the parents are very slim, the kids are very slim. But now what we see is everybody is bigger. The parents are bigger, and so are their kids. So this is a trend that has been increasing in the past years, okay? So it doesn't matter if you are living in the US or in Europe or in Asia, it's all the same. Everybody is getting larger. So if you take a look from 1970 to 2020, in the US in the 70s, in 1970s, what happens is that there's only 40%, 45% of the people are overweight or obese. But now in 2020, there is actually close to 80%, 70 to 80%. Okay, so just walking on the street, you'll see that most people are actually overweight and obese. There's actually not as many people that are normal weight. Okay, so everywhere you go in the world, in developed countries, it is actually the same. Okay, so some people might be curious about, well, what about in Taiwan? We've seen the statistics from the US, from Europe, but what about Taiwan? Is Taiwan the same as well? Okay, so this is also something that we can talk about as well. So just, just take a look of today when you're walking on the street. Do you see a lot of overweight and obese people in Taiwan? If you take a look, according to different age groups, there is going to be a different percentage. And also if you're male or female. So let's say you are within 25 to 34 range. If for males, it is about close to 50% of 25 to 34 age are, half of them are overweight. For females, it's about 30%, okay? So, which means that 1 out of 2 males are overweight, 1 out of 3 females are overweight. Okay. So some people might be curious about, is this something that is all over Taiwan? Is it the same all over Taiwan? Okay, so no, it's actually not the same all over Taiwan. Different cities, different counties have different population, different percentage of people who are overweight and obese. So in Taiwan, the areas that are red, okay, is in the east and also in the south. Okay, so most of the people who are overweight and obese are very concentrated in these areas. Okay, now Shinzu is actually doing quite well. It's still in the green. Okay, so which means that there's only about 30% of the people are overweight or obese, as compared to the east or the south, where there is actually more than 40%, probably more likely to 50%. Okay, so as you know, most people here who are listening to me right now are from the Philippines. So I've decided to show you what about the Philippines. Is it the same as in Taiwan or is it a little bit different? Okay, so this is the WHO statistics. It says 3 out of 10 Filipinos are obese. Okay, so before I show you the statistics about overweight, but now we are talking about something even more severe, which is obesity. Okay, so 3 out of 10. So for every 3 people, there's 1 person that is obese. Now, who are these people? Where are they living? They are living in urban communities. They are usually from affluent households. They're living in places like NCR, CAR, okay, regions like this. Okay, so the next question that I would like to ask everybody is, how can I tell if I'm overweight or obese? So it's actually quite easy, okay? I mean, some people say, oh, just by looking at you, I know you're overweight or obese. But is there something more objective? Okay, there is something more objective. You can look at the body mass index. You can also look at the waist circumference. So each year we do a health exam. Each health exam has something that is in there that says body mass index and waist circumference. So the next time you do a health exam, when you receive the report, take a look to see if BMI or waist circumference is in red. If it is in red, that means that you are either overweight or obese. Okay, so body mass index, how do you calculate this? Okay, it's actually quite easy. If you know your weight, if you know your height, then you will be able to calculate the body mass index. So let's take this man who is 170 centimeters, who is 78 kilograms. We take his height, which is 170 centimeters, we convert it into meters, which is 1.7 meters. So 1.7 meters times 1.7 meters. Then we take his weight, which is 78 kilograms, divided by that number, which equals 27. Okay, so his BMI, his body mass index, is 27. Okay, so now we have this number, but what do we know about this number? What does that number mean? Okay, so it's very easy actually. As long as we remember 2 numbers, we will know if this man is obese or overweight. So the normal range for BMI is 18.5 to 23.9. For overweight, it's 24 and above. For obesity, it's 27 and above. So if I know that that man's BMI is 27, I know that he is obese. Okay. But is that the same for every country? What if you're living in the Philippines? Is it the same? So it's not the same. Okay, so be careful of which data you're looking at, okay? So if you are in the Philippines, then the normal range is 25 for overweight and 30 for obese. Okay, so that man that we saw with the BMI 27, he is actually considered overweight in the Philippines, but not obese in the Philippines. Okay, so here is this chart. So what if you don't have a calculator, you don't have your cell phone beside you? You can actually just look at this chart to see if you are overweight or obese. So take me, for example. I'm 158 centimeters. My body weight should be within 46 to 59.8. So anything below 46, I'm underweight. Anything above 59.8, then I'm obese, or overweight, I should say. Okay. But does the BMI always work? Is it always accurate? So it's not always accurate. So that's something to remember. If you have somebody with a very large, muscle mass, okay? So for example, let's take a look at these 2 actors. One is Thor, one is the Wolf of Wall Street actor. His height, the Thor actor's height, is 190 centimeters. His body weight is 93 kilograms. So I've just inputted his body weight, I've inputted his height. His BMI is 26. Now, Wolf of Wall Street, he also has a BMI of 26. His height is 168 centimeters. His weight is 75 kilograms. So they're both BMI 26. So does that mean that they're both overweight? Okay, so perhaps the Wolf of Wall Street, just by looking at him, you can think, yeah, that makes sense. He is overweight. But if you look at Thor, you would not think he's overweight or obese, right? Okay, so it's because muscle is always heavier than fat. So for him, maybe it's not a good idea to use BMI. So what else can I use? I can use the waist circumference. So this is actually something that will appear over and over again in each health exam. They will always check your body height. They will always check your body weight. They will also check your waist circumference. So for males, the healthy waist circumference is below 90 centimeters. For female, it's below 80 centimeters. Okay, so what if you don't have something to measure your waist? I don't have any tape measure. I don't know what my waist is. So very easy. Just look at what size jeans you wear. So if you're wearing a size jeans of 30 inches, 35 inches, you will know if you have too much fat in your stomach. Okay, so now what? So now that we know who is obese, who is overweight, what can we do about it? How do we lose this weight? Okay, so the problem right now with this trend of people getting fatter, it's really because we are moving less. We used to hunt for our food. We don't hunt for it anymore. We just go to the convenience store, we just go to the restaurant, and there's our food, right? Another thing is that we are eating more as well and moving less, which means our jobs are more sedentary. So we're usually working with computers, we're usually working with machines, we're not doing a lot of labor work. So you are what you eat. Okay. So most people have seen this food pyramid, which talks about what should you eat in a day? What should you consume in a day? So this is the Filipino Pyramid Food Guide. Now, Taiwan has actually something that's also very similar as well. It is also a pyramid food guide. Okay, but in the last few years, they've actually changed it. There's no longer in use, the pyramid food guide. They have actually changed it to a fan food guide. So what have they changed? Why would they change it? Okay, there's some reasons. One reason is that they don't want you to eat too many carbohydrates. So before, at the very bottom, they would say, okay, you can eat a lot of rice, you can eat a lot of noodles, a lot of bread. Now they want to limit. They want to say, don't eat too many carbohydrates. This portion has decreased as compared to the previous. They also want you to eat more lean meats. So not only red meat, you should eat fish, you should eat tofu, you should eat eggs. More of these healthy proteins. They also want you to eat more low-fat dairy, okay? So it's not whole milk, it's low-fat milk or skim milk. They also want you to eat more of these nuts and cashews and almonds. And they also want you to drink more water, all right? So before, at the very bottom it says, oh, you should drink water, but you can also drink tea, you can also drink soup, etc. Now, they only want you to drink water. So drink as much water as you can. Okay, so here are some key points. I think most people will know these things. Okay, for example, don't drink a lot of sugary drinks, eat slowly, eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Don't skip meals. Okay, don't eat too late. So if you're sleeping at 11 o'clock, you should not be eating at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. Okay, don't overeat. Okay, so just eat until you're 80% full. And things like, eating less fried foods, eating more vegetables and fruits. Okay, eat don't eat desserts and late night snacks, things like that. Okay, so these are tips that I think most people will know, but sometimes it's hard for them to follow or they need a reminder. So what is the other thing that we should know about is some people, when they lose weight, they like to count calories. Okay, so this is another method to lose weight. Okay, but how do you count calories? Well, first of all, you have to understand, you have to know for your body and your age, how many calories you should be consuming a day. So for example, if you are 26 and 40 years old, let's say you are a woman who is doing more sedentary work. So maybe you're doing, more computer work, okay? So you should consume a total intake of 1,800 calories a day. But this is only if you are trying to keep your weight. So if you're not trying to lose weight, you're not trying to gain weight, then 1,800 a day is fine. But what if you want to lose weight? Let's say I want to lose a weight of 0.5 to 1 kilogram a week. That means I have to cut down 500 to 1,000 calories a day. Okay, so let's take the example of this 30-year-old woman who's 1,800 calories a day. If you want to lose weight, that means she can only consume probably 800 calories a day to 1,300 calories a day. So how do I know how many calories am I consuming? Well, it's very easy as well. Anything that you buy at the convenience store, at the grocery store, they will always have a food nutrition label. So next time you go find something to drink, like the soda, take a look at their nutrition label. So 355 cc, a can of soda is 355 cc. Now we are at 42 calories for 100 cc. Okay, so which means a can of soda is probably, probably like 150 calories. Okay, so, or you can just take a look about what you eat at lunchtime. If you're eating a fried chicken 便当, that is already 900 calories a day. That's almost your limit for one day if you're trying to lose weight. Or if you like to eat fast food, it is also 700, 900 calories. Okay, and what about your drinks? Okay, so like a milk bubble tea will be 370 calories. Okay, so what about exercise? Is exercise going to help me lose weight? It will, but it's also very hard for you to use exercise to lose weight. For example, if you want to burn off 290 calories of coffee, you have to walk 53 minutes, 1 hour, or run half an hour. So it's actually very hard to burn off the calories just by doing exercise. But that doesn't mean you should just not do exercise. Exercise is still very good, but you'll probably have to try to do as much as you can. Okay, for example, walking instead of taking the stairs instead of taking the elevator, or you can park a little bit farther away. Okay, try to do more house chores, things like that. Okay. So what other options do I have? If I doing the exercise, I'm controlling my diet, but I still am gaining a lot of weight, what do I need? What do I do? I can get medication for it. Okay, so I can take medication. There's oral pills, there's injections, which are all safe and FDA approved. And my last resort, or I can do acupuncture, or my last resort, which is weight loss surgery. That is also always an option on the table. Okay, so this is my clinic time. So if anybody has any other questions, it's not only about weight loss, it could be about other things like your health exam reports, or if you have any health issues, health problems, you can also find me at the hospital. Okay, so these are my clinic times. Okay, so the last story that I want to share with you guys is it is still possible to keep fit and to lose weight. For example, this man who is a personal trainer in the US, in 6 months, he decided to purposely gain weight. And in the next 6 months, he purposely lost the weight. So it is actually possible to be fit to fat to fit. Okay, so don't give up. If you need to lose weight, don't give up. Okay, so thank you. That is the end of my presentation. And we will do a draw that I'm sure many of you are waiting for. Okay, so I will just press this, and this will be a random draw. So for anybody who has put their name in for the draw will be entered. So we have a winner here. Congratulations. The winner is the Gong Hao, which is the number is 1090708P, Xi Duo. Okay, so congratulations to Xi Duo. Now, we will contact the coordinator, who will contact the winner. So don't worry if you missed this. Okay, thank you.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try.